Her body was found at a makeshift dump site below the Byram Swinging Bridge back in 1978.
In 2023, two cold cases that had been going on for a long time were finally solved thanks to important new information. Since these cases had been a mystery for years with many unanswered questions, families and communities had been waiting for justice and peace. These cases came back into the public eye because of the hard work of law enforcement, improvements in forensic technology, and the unwavering drive of loved ones. Hi and welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing, as it helps us motivate to create more intriguing content for you. Let's have a look at the two cold cases finally revealed in 2023. In 1978, the body of an unidentified young woman was found in a trash dump in Rankin County, Mississippi. Despite extensive efforts, the police could not determine her identity or the circumstances surrounding her death. The case went cold and remained unsolved for over 40 years until advancements in DNA technology provided a glimmer of hope. In 2021, the case was entered into the National Missing and Unidentified Person System in hopes of generating leads. However, even with modern technology and the assistance of NamUs, the woman's identity remained unknown. The case took a significant turn when officials in Mississippi learned about a similar case in Ohio that had been solved using genetic genealogy. Energized by this discovery, the officials sought permission to exhume the victim's body for further investigation. With the court's approval, they carefully gathered and prepared forensic evidence, recognizing its potential in unraveling the mystery. Carla Davis, a generous individual dedicated to solving unsolved crimes, funded the exhumation and subsequent forensic work. Despite two unsuccessful attempts, the case gained momentum when it was taken to Othram Laboratories, a cutting-edge forensic lab with a proven track record. Through forensic-grade genome sequencing, scientists at Othram decoded the DNA of the unidentified victim, providing a full genealogical profile. Carla Davis, the chief genetic genealogist at Othram, tirelessly searched public records and social media to identify possible relatives of the victim. The search eventually led to a potential close relative of the victim, who was identified as Tanya Lee Wills Mullins. Born in Texas in 1956, Tanya's life came to a tragic end at the age of 22. She was described as a kind-hearted individual with a beautiful singing voice. Tanya married Jim Mullins in 1973, despite opposition from his family. The couple had two daughters, Tammy and Crystal. Tanya and her daughters went missing in 1978 shortly after moving to Mississippi. Jim Mullins made desperate efforts to find them but to no avail. 40 years later, the revelation of Tanya's identity provided closure to her family and friends. Tammy Mullins, now 49 years old, shared the emotional journey her family had endured and their determination to find justice for her mother. With the support of forensic experts and the renewed attention to the case, Tammy and Crystal attended a memorial service in Mississippi to honor their mother's memory. They now seek answers and justice, hoping that the perpetrator will be held accountable for their actions. The identification of Tanya Mullins sheds light on the importance of investigative science and the relentless pursuit of justice. It serves as a reminder that even cold cases can be solved, offering closure to families and communities affected by unsolved crimes. As the investigation continues, the hope for answers and justice remains steadfast. On the morning of May 13, 1997, in Rockdale, Illinois, a town located approximately 40 miles west of Chicago, a seemingly ordinary day unfolded. The sun was beating down hard on a building site where workers and heavy equipment were moving trash and debris from a dusty dump. Kevin P. McGowan, an archaeologist from the famous University of Illinois, was quietly and carefully going through the layers of trash and debris, looking for any hidden artifacts or historical relics. But he had no idea that he was about to find something far scarier and more upsetting than anything he could have thought of. As his trained eyes looked through the piles of trash, they saw something strange. There, in a dusty dump in Rockdale, Illinois, was a bone that was different from all the others. As he carefully took it out of the mess, he got a jolt of joy. His heart beat fast because he was excited. It was dirty and grimy, showing that it had been there for a long time. He gently wiped it clean, which showed its real shape and size. The bone seemed to have its own story to tell, as if it were speaking secrets from a long time ago. But the more he looked at the bone, the more horrified he became when he realized it was a human bone. The archaeologist and his helper had found the bones of a dead person. The cops say that the body parts were found around 10:15 a.m. on September 3, 1978. A car accident happened a few hundred yards northeast of Mound Road and Moan Avenue, near the edge of Rockdale. As soon as he found out about it, his find sent shockwaves through the dusty Rockdale landfill. He called the sheriff's office right away, and the authorities came right away. When a human bone was found during routine archaeological research in an unincorporated part of Joliet Township, the study turned into a full-blown investigation. When the cops arrived, there was a lot going on, so they blocked off the area to start their investigation. Investigators knew right away that they were dealing with a murder case. Whoever buried the body in the ground seemed to be trying to hide it from the world. The bodies had been buried without any ceremony, which seemed like a cruel and brutal act. Investigators knew the victim had been killed because they only found one bone. This means that the person had been cut up and the other body parts were spread around in different places. They worked quickly because they wanted to find out the truth about this horrible crime, and the search for answers had started. They had a lot riding on their shoulders, and the risks were high, but they were ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. The news of the finding sent shockwaves through the town, which made the police start a thorough investigation. Who was the person who died, and how did they end up in the dump? This is what everyone was thinking about. The investigation was anything but simple. To answer the mystery, it would take years of hard work, a lot of interviews, and the latest scientific discoveries. The officers gathered around the body's remains and looked at the grisly scene with a mix of interest and worry in their eyes. It was clear that something had moved the rest of the body, and the cops could not help but wonder where the other body parts were. Quickly, the scene was locked down, and police were called to find out more. With their knowledge and skills, they hoped to find any more skeletal parts that might help them figure out how to solve this strange mystery. The job they had to do was hard, but they were motivated to solve the case and give the victim justice. Experts in forensics went through the area carefully to find any proof that was still there. They carefully wrote down each step of the process to make sure nothing was missed. Soil samples were taken, and the area was carefully searched for anything that might help figure out who the victim or the person who did it was. The case was still not solved as the days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. The victim's body parts were carefully kept until science and technology caught up with them and gave them the answers they so badly wanted. It took more than 20 years before there was finally a solution. In 2020, a group of dedicated detectives decided to look into the case again using advanced DNA testing methods that were not available at the time of the first investigation. The bones were sent to a lab where experts worked hard to get DNA samples. The hope was that these samples would match up with DNA files that already existed and help find the victim. After a lot of work, a match was at last found. The bone's DNA was the same as that of a person who went missing in 1984. Marie R. O'Brien, a 17-year-old high school girl, was the victim. She had disappeared without a trace. Marie's family was heartbroken when she went missing and never found out what happened to their beloved daughter and sister. Marie's friends and family said that she was a bright, happy student who loved art. She was known for being kind and giving, and she was always happy to help. Her absence left a hole in the lives of those who knew her, but now, after 26 years, they finally had a name for the faceless victim. When Marie's family found out who she was, they were both happy and sad. Even though they finally knew the answer to the question that had been bothering them for so long, they still had to deal with the sad fact that she had died. It was a sad moment, full of a mix of feelings that only people who have lost someone close to them can understand. Marie R. O'Brien's identification gave a new direction to the investigation, shifting the focus to finding her killer. Investigators followed leads, interviewed people close to Marie, and sought community support. The case remains active, with hope for justice. Marie's story emphasizes the importance of never giving up, as her family's determination and advancements in forensic science contribute to uncovering the truth. Each step forward brings us closer to achieving justice for Marie. What do you think of these cases? Let us know in the comments section below. Also, do like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. Thanks for watching.